Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tune In English. I'm Adam, and I'm super excited to have my friend Maya here with us today.
Hi, Adam. Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
We're diving into something super useful today, the benefits of reading newspapers in English. Seriously, it's a game changer for learners.
Absolutely. It's not just about the news. It helps with vocabulary, grammar, and even sounding more like a native speaker.
And guess what? We'll be using a few cool idioms in our chat. Don't worry, we'll explain them clearly later, so stick around.
Also, try repeating phrases after us. It's a great way to practice speaking.
If you're enjoying the episode, give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss a lesson.
Ready to get into it?
Let's go. So, Maya, I've got to ask, do you still read newspapers, like actual print ones?
Honestly, I do. Every Sunday morning with my coffee. There's something calming about flipping through real pages. But I also read online editions during the week.
Same here. I know a lot of people think newspapers are old-fashioned, but for English learners, they're pure gold.
Totally. Reading the news isn't just about knowing what's happening. It's one of the best ways to get your feet wet with real English.
Exactly. When you start learning, textbooks feel safe, but they're not how people actually talk or write. Newspapers, they're authentic. You see how native speakers structure ideas, use tone, even read between the lines.
Oh, that's so true. I remember when I first moved to London, I felt lost in conversations. But once I started reading The Guardian every day, things started to click into place.
That's a great phrase, click into place, like puzzle pieces finally fitting. And newspapers help that happen because they cover so many topics: politics, sports, culture, even cooking.
Right, and the language changes with the topic. A sports article uses different words than a tech review. So you're not just learning one kind of English, you're getting the full picture.
Plus, newspapers use clear, concise writing. Journalists have to say a lot in few words. That's perfect for learners who want to cut through the noise and understand the main point fast.
Yes, and headlines? They're like mini lessons in grammar and wordplay. Sometimes tricky, but super rewarding once you get them.
I'll admit, I used to skip the opinion sections, but now, that's where you hear strong voices, persuasive language, even humor. It's like eavesdropping on smart people debating.
Eavesdropping. Well, in a good way. And you pick up phrases like the bottom line or in a nutshell. Super useful for summarizing.
True. And here's something learners might not realize. Newspapers help with listening too. How?
Wait, how?
When you read an article, then hear it discussed on a podcast or news show, your brain connects the written word to the spoken one. It's like doubling your practice.
Oh, I never thought of it that way. That's brilliant. So even if you're just reading quietly, you're training your ear indirectly.
Exactly. And don't forget, many newspapers now have audio versions or videos, so you can read and listen at the same time. Perfect for shadowing.
Shadowing is such a powerful tool. I tell my students, repeat sentences right after the speaker. It builds rhythm, intonation, confidence.
But let's be real, some learners feel overwhelmed. They open a paper and see big words, long paragraphs, and think, this isn't for me.
I get that, but you don't have to read the whole thing. Start with one short article, even just the first paragraph. Baby steps, you know?
Yes, don't try to drink from a fire hose. Pick a section you enjoy, maybe travel, food, or celebrity news. Make it fun, not a chore.
And over time, you'll notice something amazing. Words you once looked up, you start recognizing them without a dictionary. That's when learning pays off.
Totally. It's not instant, but it's steady, like watering a plant every day. One morning you see a flower.
Beautiful way to put it. So even if you only read for 10 minutes a day, you're building real fluency.
And real-world fluency, not just exam English. You'll understand job interviews, movies, even small talk at the bus stop.
Because newspapers reflect how language lives and breathes. They're not frozen in a textbook. They're alive.
So, If you've never tried reading a newspaper in English, today's the day. Start small, stay curious, and trust the process.
And hey, if you get stuck, that's normal. Even natives reread tricky sentences.
Exactly. Learning isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, even with just a cup of tea and one page.
Couldn't agree more.
Before we move on, let's quickly unpack the phrases we used in this section.
Great idea. First up,
Phrase 1. Get your feet wet. Meaning, to start doing something new in a gentle, low-pressure way. Example, don't worry about reading the whole paper. Just get your feet wet with one article.
next.
Read between the lines. Meaning, to understand the hidden or implied meaning, not just the words. Example, the article said the project was challenging, but reading between the lines, it was failing.
Phrase 3, click into place, meaning when something suddenly makes sense or becomes clear. Example, after reading 3 articles, the grammar rules finally clicked into place.
Phrase 4. Cut through the noise. Meaning, to ignore distractions and focus on what's important. Example, newspapers help you cut through the noise and find the key facts fast.
Phrase 5, baby steps, meaning very small, easy actions that lead to bigger progress. Example, take baby steps. Read just 1 paragraph today.
And finally, phrase 6. Pays off. Meaning, when your effort leads to a good result. Example, reading daily is hard at first, but it really pays off.
Keep these in mind as we go deeper.
Welcome back. So, Maya, last time we talked about why newspapers are useful. Today, I want to dig into how they actually boost your confidence in real life.
Oh, I love this because that's the magic part. You don't just learn words, you start using them. Like last week, I had a student who read an article about climate policy. Later, at a dinner party, she joined a serious conversation and held her own.
Wow, that's huge. That's not just language, it's belonging. And newspapers give you that common ground with native speakers.
Exactly. If you've read the same news everyone's talking about, you're not lost. You can say, I saw that in the Times, and suddenly you're a part of the chat.
Right, and it's not just big topics. Even small talk, like crazy weather lately, huh? Often comes from news stories, so you're never left out in the cold.
Good one. I remember feeling that way when I first arrived. People would reference headlines I hadn't seen, and I'd just smile awkwardly. But once I made reading a habit, game changer.
And here's something cool. Newspapers teach you how to think in English, not just translate. You start forming opinions using English logic, not your native language's structure.
Yes, like instead of thinking in Spanish then translating, I began reacting directly. That policy doesn't add up. It felt natural.
That's fluency in action, and opinion pieces are perfect for this. They show you how to argue politely, agree to disagree, or play devil's advocate.
Totally. And the vocabulary in editorials so rich. Words like sustainable, equity, infrastructure. You hear them in meetings, podcasts, even job interviews.
Speaking of jobs, many learners don't realize that reading business sections can seriously boost their career English. You learn phrases like bottom line, cost effective, or long-term strategy.
True. I once helped a student prepare for a job interview at a tech firm. We read a Financial Times article about AI ethics. He used ideas from it and got the job.
That's amazing. So newspapers aren't just for news junkies, they're career tools, social tools, even emotional tools.
Emotional? How so?
Well, when you understand what's happening in the world through English, you feel less isolated. You're not just observing, you're participating. That builds a sense of agency.
Oh, I see. You feel empowered, like you can engage, not just listen. That's powerful.
And let's not forget, reading reduces anxiety about speaking. If you've seen a word in print 5 times, you're way more likely to use it out loud without fear.
Absolutely. I call it silent rehearsal. Your brain practices while you read. Then, when you speak, it's not brand new, it's familiar.
But here's a gentle warning. Don't get stuck only reading. You've got to take the plunge and try using what you learn.
Fair point. I used to just highlight words and never say them. Big mistake. Now I force myself. If I read an innovative solution, I'll use it in my next email.
That's the spirit. And newspapers make that easy because the language is practical, not poetic, not slang, just clear, useful English.
Though some headlines are playful, like Storm Brews over budget talks. You learn metaphors too.
Right, and that's cultural fluency. Understanding that storm doesn't mean rain, it means conflict. That's reading between the lines again.
Which we talked about last time. See how it all connects?
It does, and consistency is key. Even 5 minutes a day builds what I call passive confidence. You may not speak much, but you understand, and that's half the battle.
I'd say it's more than half. Understanding leads to courage, and courage leads to trying, and trying leads to fluency.
Beautifully said. So if you're waiting for the perfect time to start reading newspapers, stop waiting. Grab your phone, open BBC News or Reuters, and just start.
And don't worry about knowing every word. Focus on the gist. Ask, what's the main idea? Not, what does ubiquitous mean?
Though you'll learn ubiquitous soon enough. It's everywhere, ironically.
Exactly. And that's the joy of it. Language reveals itself when you show up regularly.
So whether you're prepping for IELTS, a job, or just want to feel more at home in English, newspapers are your quiet coach.
Silent, patient, and always there, like a good friend.
Let's review the phrases from this section.
Phrase 1. Common ground. Meaning, shared interests or experiences that help people connect. Example, talking about the news gave us common ground at the party.
Phrase 2. Left out in the cold, meaning to feel ignored or excluded from a group. Example, if you don't follow the news, you might feel left out in the cold.
Phrase 3. Play devil's advocate. Meaning, to argue against an idea, even if you agree, to explore it better. Example, I'll play devil's advocate. What if the policy backfires?
Phrase 4. Take the plunge, meaning to finally do something you've been nervous about. Example, I took the plunge and used a new word in my presentation.
Phrase 5. A sense of agency. Meaning, feeling that you can influence events, not just watch them. Example, reading the news gave her a sense of agency in her new country.
Phrase 6. Bottom line, meaning the most important point or final result. Example, the bottom line is reading helps you speak better.
Keep practicing these. They'll make your English sound natural and thoughtful.
All right, Maya, we've talked about why newspapers help and how they build confidence. Now, how do we actually make reading them a habit that lasts?
Great question. Because let's be honest, most people start strong, then fizzle out after a week.
Exactly. They download the New York Times app, read one article, get overwhelmed, and quit. So, how do we avoid that?
First, ditch perfection. You don't need to read front to back. Pick one section you enjoy. Love food? Go straight to the cooking column. Into tech? Skip to innovation news.
Yes, make it personal. If you hate politics, don't force it. Start where your curiosity lives. That's how habits take root.
And pair it with something you already do, like read while having your morning coffee or during your lunch break. Link it to an existing routine.
Brilliant. That's called habit stacking, and it works. I read the BBC News app while waiting for my toast to pop. 2 minutes, but it adds up.
Totally. And use tools. Most news sites have easy English versions, like BBC Learning English or News and Levels. They simplify stories without dumbing them down.
Ooh, I love news and levels. 3 versions of the same story, perfect for your level. You can even listen while you read. Double practice.
And don't skip the comment section. Sometimes, readers often rephrase the article in simpler words. It's like free tutoring.
True, though maybe avoid the angry comment threads. Stick to the thoughtful ones.
Good call. Now, here's a tip. Keep a tiny notebook. Jot down just one new phrase per day. Not 10, just one. Then try using it that evening.
That's smart. Small wins build momentum. And if you miss a day, no guilt. Just start again tomorrow. Habits aren't about being perfect, they're about showing up.
Yes, consistency beats intensity. Reading 5 minutes daily is better than 1 hour once a month.
And rotate sources. Don't just stick to one paper. Try The Guardian, CNN, Al Jazeera English, or even local news from cities you'd like to visit. Different voices, different styles.
Right. British English uses different phrasing than American or Australian. Reading widely helps you understand all of them.
Plus, you'll notice how the same event is reported differently. That teaches you to see both sides of the coin.
Exactly. Critical thinking in English. You start asking, why did this paper focus on the economy while that one talked about people? That's advanced fluency.
And don't forget, mistakes are part of the process. I once thought breaking news meant something was physically breaking.
Oh no.
But that's how we learn. Misunderstandings lead to aha moments. So stay curious, not critical, especially of yourself.
Absolutely. And celebrate progress. When you understand a headline without translating or recognize an idiom we taught, give yourself credit.
Because fluency isn't a finish line. It's a series of small, I get it now moments, and newspapers give you those every single day.
One last thing. Use what you read. Tell a friend about an article. Post a short summary on social media. Even talk to your pet in English about the news.
My dog's now an expert on renewable energy.
See, fun plus practice equals lasting habit. So start small, stay kind to yourself, and trust that every article brings you closer to thinking and living in English.
Couldn't agree more. Now let's look at the phrases we used today.
Time to review our final set of useful expressions.
First, phrase 1, take root, meaning to begin to grow or become established. Example, good habits take root when you start small.
Phrase 2, showing up, meaning being present and consistent even when it's hard. Example, fluency isn't about talent, it's about showing up every day.
Phrase 3, to see both sides of the coin, meaning to understand 2 different perspectives on an issue. Example, reading different newspapers helps you see both sides of the coin.
Phrase 4, break the ice, meaning to start a conversation in a friendly way. Example, talking about the news can break the ice at social events.
Phrase 5, get the ball rolling, meaning to start something, especially a process or activity. Example, just read 1 paragraph to get the ball rolling.
Phrase 6, in the long run, meaning over a long period of time, eventually. Example, in the long run, daily reading makes a huge difference.
Phrase 7, think on your feet, meaning to respond quickly and cleverly in conversation. Example, reading news helps you think on your feet during discussions. Hey everyone, great job sticking with us today. Don't just save those phrases, use them. Try one in a text, a conversation, or even your journal.
Exactly. And if you want to review everything, we've got a free PDF with the full story and all the examples. Just click the link in the description.
While you're there, give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Subscribe so you never miss a lesson. We upload new videos every week.
And tell us in the comments, which phrase was your favorite? Baby steps? Click into place? We'd love to hear.
Remember, every word you read, every phrase you try brings you closer to confident English.
You've got this. Keep going.
See you in the next video.